base smelter. Cock the barrel, trigger rain. Swerving donuts against the grain. Our planes Ghost Rider rips the brain. Kaleidoscopic bullet train never gave up. Just a clutch. Yes! Put a bitch and burn that strip to dust. Dust to ashes, ash to must. Mask off the madness, man combust. Black magic flames race out to cut the gut that can't get down enough. Low to the ground and photo touch. This merchandise is way too much. Ride the current like a snake. Wicked wine throw pools out late to haters, posers, fools and flames. Through the breaks, the rules and take. It up notches, but what you waste your time and money trying to change. Don't know why you wasting time. Just know what I do with mine. How to do impossible things. How to do impossible things. What does ominous really mean? Where to go with a prop woken up from the dream?
The most poisonous fish in this ocean explored is Synancia vericosa, colloquially known as the stonefish. The needle-like dorsal fins lining its back secrete venom from glands underneath, an immensely potent mixture of neurotoxins that, when weaponized, could bode lethal for the unfortunate victim. The threat posed by the stonefish is only exacerbated by its affinity for camouflage. Aptly named for its ability to blend with ocean sediment, the stonefish owes its life to its disguises. In diversion of its predators or consumption of its prey, to hide is a condition of life. So what then necessitates such immense venom that this fish be the one to receive it? What life was once lived by the pre-evolved fish that made use of such powerful tools? How well are you able to lie? Be honest. We all lie sometimes in our lives. But how good of a liar are you? If you reckon you're bad, you might think that's good. But might it be good to be better? Hear me out. Think to when you started lying as a child, why you do it, what things you would lie about. Now try to think of who it was that taught you how to lie. If you're having trouble, it's probably because the answer is no one. No one needs to teach you how to lie. It is merely an intrinsic behavior, like a lizard's changing colors or a possum playing possum. Such behavior is a sign of evolution. But what purpose does this trait serve in our day-to-day routine? For what use do humans have to lie at all? Is this a trait we can't explain for, like the stonefish's venom? Or is it actually our camouflage? American psychologist Paul Ekman put together an outline of 8 reasons why people lie. But these reasons can get even more basic. And to explain, I must first check my privilege. And all of our privileges, really. As a species, we overlook most of the luxuries living a human life has. I am out of the food chain. Nobody's prey, nor must I prey on anything else. For us to fancy an entire hierarchy of needs at any level is a privilege in itself. As an animal, you start your life and end it at the bottom, and have no idea what you never did. Which sounds kinda nice. But no life sees an end without a struggle to survive. And in a fight, you can protect or you attack. So for the sake of every species that is watching this right now, these 8 lies can be filed evenly under those we tell for defense and those we tell for offense, to protect and attack. A move made in defense is a move that is provoked, a reaction to something external and out of control. We tell these lies so for protection from what harm the truth may bring. But what harm may that be? A most human emotion, embarrassment, sucks, and a little bit of it goes a long way. Though it's worst in the moment, it lives on forever in flashbacks. When you're awake in your bed, but you can't go to sleep because you're reminded of the one time you called your teacher mom in high school and everybody laughed, or something. If a little white lie can prevent such a feeling, it might be worth more good over bad. But in a successful lie told to stave off one negative emotion, its place is now taken by shame, a negative evaluation of the self. If you've ever been pulled over by a cop before, try to think of the ways you react. You might fix yourself, collect yourself, whatever these words mean to you, try to replicate things you think make you look more innocent. The animal kingdom has no scales of justice, but among them they're still being judged. On sight, on taste, on sound. In its larva stages, the dogbane tiger moth keeps a steady diet of Indian hemp. This plant is filled with a steroid known as cardiac glycoside, which to insect eaters could be fatally toxic. It boasts a pair of timbal organs which allow it to produce as high as 4,000 calls a second. And this sound lets predators know that it's not worth it. However, there are other insects, which taste just fine, that have picked up on this info and use it, in a practice that is known as mimicry. And this lie they tell is what keeps them alive. The stakes are not so life or death in the case of someone who's just speeding, but the consequences of punishment merge the potential for social scrutiny with a threat to a person's comfort. A lie here is told to intervene on would-be chaos, and the harm avoided is greater than before. The successful liar stays off any punishment external, but is still taken to trial by himself. The verdict? Guilty. Like the feeling of shame, but with greater moral implications. I've put these two together based on what they're protection from. That is, at most basic, harm, and not to one's image or comfort as before, but attack on their physical self. When a predator infringes on our turf, we must protect, must react in ways that pull us out the fray. Traits that accomplish this in all their many forms are known as anti-predator adaptations, and every lie on this side fits that description. To label our behavior with a term such as this might to some of you seem almost inhuman, but the stark science in it can reveal to us a lot about emotions that these kinds of lies rely on. When picturing a predator, what comes to mind? Is it a shark, or a lion, or Steve? All the physical specifics change depending who you are, but it's danger that they all represent. To say our lying is anti-anything at all means the actions we take must negate. The situation, then, invokes negative emotions, as the outcomes are goal incongruent. A move made in defense is a move that is provoked, and when provoked, we defend out of fear. Fear for our reputation, fear for our stasis, fear for our lives. They are lies we wouldn't have to tell if this world were perfect, but alas, when it is not, we must defend. A move made in offense is a move that is premeditated, strategized, and carried out to plan. These lies are more conniving, predatory, one could say, but even predators must keep themselves alive. Again, I've paired these two items together, this time for the way they offend. Both effectively ways of hiding parts of oneself, it can be easy to misconstrue these lies as defense. But the goal is not to cover up for something you're ashamed of, but to restrict the knowledge that people have of you. Maybe memorizing a fake number to give creepy guys at the bar, or telling your mother you're spending the night at a friend's house and going literally anywhere else instead. A squirrel hiding its nuts, or any cave dweller nocturnal by nature. The less is known, the better. A lie pulled off successfully, and kept up for years to boot, is a plan well executed, and for that, you should really feel relieved. Of course, everyone tells you how wrong it is to lie, but no one tells you how good it can feel. Okay, you might think attack is too heavy a word for the lies people tell to be polite. I mean, we aren't really playing offense when we compliment a haircut instead of saying that you paid for that. Or are we? To go on offense is to merely tread ground, to make moves that will help you to win, or to stay in the good graces of your friends and your family, none of whom know how you really feel. This differs from the lies before it in what it tries to achieve with the addition of a target. Now, when a lie is told about somebody to themselves, their reality becomes less real. And should this lie be revealed, the risk is now twofold. But what good would it do me to finally tell Grandma I hate all the clothes that she buys? Honestly, probably negative. A lie told to be nice makes someone feel nice. And it's nice to make someone feel nice. You feel pride for your actions, having sacrificed truth for the sake of making others feel good. What a hero. You might feel gypped and still be wondering how to do impossible things, and the answer therein lies in a bit of history. 1856, Algeria, a country on the brink of revolt. Rebel forces under influence of mullahs, Muslim priests, are duped into thinking that their illusions were real. A country is in uproar. France's answer is to dispatch French watchmaker John Eugene in a display that would one-up the mullahs' illusions. During his performance in what is certainly his most notable feat, John Eugene caught a speeding bullet right between his teeth, and thus a country was stunned out of rebellion. The man had done an impossible thing. But how? Simply, he didn't. Jean Eugene Robert Houdin is the father of modern magic, and this trick is one of his many groundbreaking lies. So when magicians replicate this trick and it's not to stop a revolution, what reason have they to do it but for fun? For entertainment? The successful execution of a well-laid plan, the risk, the duper's delight. Such a motive might seem that it can be only human, but if that were so, I wouldn't bring it up. Cue the saber-toothed blenny, the false cleaner fish. Its main diet consists of smaller fish, but this only half keeps it alive. When in the presence of a larger fish, the blenny does not flee. Instead, it displays a show of colors and approaches, taking to parasite removal and other death-defying cleaning services. A bond of trust is built between them, and it strengthens over time, until one day, the blenny takes a large, fleshy bite of his now ex-symbiote and flees the scene to hopefully never be seen again. What the blenny probably feels in these last moments is excitement. What the blenny probably feels is alive. What this lie and all others in this category stem from is a feeling only known as desire. These are lies we tell ourselves to try and make our world perfect. For alas, sometimes there is no other way. So then, here they are. Every reason you lie brought down to two feelings. Two incredibly powerful emotions. And the only two that keep us alive. I think of the stonefish. I wonder what good it would do him to laugh, or be happy, disgusted, depressed. If the stonefish was never afraid, he would die. With no desire, he will never live. Our venom is our reality, and our lies are our camouflage.